Serious question here, no joking. Are you afraid of dying? Well, you're not alone. Studies show that over 40% of people have a fear of death, and our next guest is hoping to bring that number down with a movement known as Death Positive. She is an end-of-life doula at the Congressional Cemetery in Washington, D.C., my hometown, or some people call it a death doula. Please welcome to the show, Laura Lyster-Mensh. Hi, Laura.
Hi, it's an honor to be here.
Thank you.
Hi, Laura. Let's get right to the first question, just explaining what is a death doula and should people be frightened of you?
Well, less than zombies.
You're listening. You're listening. So could you explain to us exactly what that means, death doula?
Yeah, in short, it's a service that someone who had a prognosis that they were going to be dying, in the near future, that they would hire to help them organize themselves, plan, decide what their wishes are, communicate that with family, and then help with the dying process. We are a trained service that helps dying people and their families.
Mm. Well, I'm the daughter of a funeral director, so this is always a conversation that other people seem a little bit more scared of than I am necessarily. So, but this does seem like a massive step to take in your life. So what led you to do this work?
I'm in my 60s now. There's a lot more dying around me. So I do feel as if this is a time of life to perhaps lean into that topic. I've always been someone who was ready for the difficult conversations, and I hate it when people roll their eyes. And people roll their eyes about talking about death, and I don't think it's healthy. So I wanted to get into the space of supporting people in being serious but not morbid about an inevitable part of our life.
Yeah. In Judaism, to be a pallbearer is the ultimate mitzvah, because the person can't give it back to you. You're giving a gift they can't give back because they're passed. So the cemetery is a very interesting place for Judaism, and I wanted to hear your take. You actually meet with people at the cemetery to practice dying. Can you talk to us about that?
So this is an amazing project. Congressional Cemetery is a really unusual cemetery. It's a dog park. It has an apiary. They have goat yoga. It's a really special place, and also we hold events there, 5Ks, everything. So they're allowing the space for this activity called Death Doula Days. And basically I'm having office hours every Saturday for a couple of hours. And we're doing things like you just mentioned. That was one of our projects. We practiced dying by taking turns, being in a seat, surrounded by what a group called the Threshold Singers. These singers, they actually sing around dying people as a service. They're volunteers, as I am. And I brought them in for our first Death Doula Day because I wanted it to be a moment of music and a moment of really us practicing being the person who is dying, and just give it some thought and perhaps make changes in our life that would help us have less fear of death and also be more kind to people who are dying, and for us to accept mortality and live more fully while we're alive. Wow. That's really the point.
Wow.
It's so interesting. You say that. My grandfather chose to leave hospice and transition at home, and I was the only person with him when he transitioned. And it's definitely affected my life in terms of me deciding what I'm going to put my energy towards. And it has been a positive thing for me overall, being with him as he transitioned. I was with my grandmother when she transitioned as well. It's a beautiful thing. So if you could talk to people about what is the death positive movement, because I think I had mine before I was able to brand it.
Well, it's funny. I think this has been around forever, but we've lost a little of it as a culture. I think we're kind of afraid and avoidant, and we think it's negative to think about death. It's actually inevitable. So avoiding it causes more fear and anxiety. So death positivity is like, okay, I don't want to shock you, but it's like sex positive. It's a movement to normalize talking about a normal thing and to take away some of the shame, to take away some of the avoidance, and to keep from rolling our eyes when people want to talk about a really important, serious thing. And I think that being death positive is being able to have conversations about death with openness and with courage and curiosity, a little bit of humor. I really find that's very important in a death positive conversation, even though it is a serious thing.
Yeah, but including even music and art and even like sense that they grew up with, sensory things. I just have to say, you probably have held hands of people who don't have anyone else to hold their hands while they passed. I think you are an angel on earth. I think that's a beautiful mitzvah that you do. Laura, thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you.
You are amazing for doing this work. DBL Nation, find out more about Laura and Death Doula Days at lmwriter.com. Again, thank you so much, Laura. So much respect. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you.